Shattered Time Rewind is a Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod that is not affiliated in any way with Team Salvado. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed and contains spoilers for the official game. Game files for Doki Doki Literature Club are play this mod can be downloaded for free at that service or on Steam. By playing Shattered Time Rewind, you agree that you have completed Doki Doki Literature Club by accepting the spoilers contained within. I agree. So, it's Hallie, and welcome to Shattered Time Rewind. This was requested a while back, but it was requested like before the full release had come out. So, it was just kind of hanging out on my list there for a little bit, and I probably would have gotten to it sooner if I remembered to check, but you know, the full version is out, so we get to check it out. And I don't know if it's much different than the original, but I guess we'll see what's different, so here we go.
Oh, why hello there, players. When the moon rises in the sky, a night full of drama, passion, and the bizarre often waits for you. Good evening, and welcome to the show. I'm your ardent vixen of love, Akane Kotobuki. You may also know me as the Black Rose. I'm here on behalf of the gentlemen of Team Traders since they aren't able to greet you themselves. I'll be your guide for the night ahead of us of twists and turns and love. So tell me, players, how far are you willing to go to save someone you love? Would you jump in front of a train for them? Would you tear down the sky for them? Would you perhaps risk breaking all the rules of time and space? Have I got a story for you, then? A cycle full of love and loss between two star-crossed lovers across time. Almost like a modern Romeo and Juliet, but with a bit of magic involved. And minus Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. Anyway, let me just ask you one last question before we get started. Have you ever heard of the tragedy of Tyrankos the Tyrant? A young man struggling with his feelings and depression gets to hear it for himself. When he's sent back in time to save a girl he keeps telling himself doesn't mean anything to him. If that's the case, love, then why are you willing to mess with the flow of time itself just to save her life? Mixed signals much? Heh. Love sure can be amusing, can it? There's no telling what a person is willing to do in the name of love. They might do something so outrageous all logic and reason go out the window. Or they might even find the inner strength in themselves they never knew they had. Anyway, why don't we get on with the show? I bet you're all just dying to see what's in store for you all. I'll catch you later, my forlorn hearts.
Doki Doki Shattered Time Rewind. June 4th, 2019. Hey, that's Natsuki's text.
Do you think I'd be better off dead?
That question. Just what was that question? As I take my usual route to school, I run the events through my head again. I was just sitting in my homeroom when that bombshell was dropped on me. It came out of nowhere and directed at me of all people. Natsuki, a girl who sat behind me in class, asks that without any warning. To me, of all people. We weren't really that well acquainted, despite sitting close to each other in the same class. It's for that reason that I was left stupefied when she asked. I prefer not to get myself involved with anyone, especially after... No, I told myself I wouldn't think about her again. Quit living in the past already. I have to keep moving forward and not dwell on pointless things. It makes me weak. At least that's what my father used to tell me. Not that what he says really matters anymore ever since my parents' divorce and all. Honestly, he wasn't much of a father to me to begin with. That's why I just call him Old Man instead. He doesn't deserve to be called my father. I wish I could forget about him. I wish I could forget about this town while I'm at it. As I make my way through the door, I find myself shoved to the side by another student. I look to see who it was. Oh, come on. Of course, out of all the people in the world, it's him. Joichiro Urameshi. Whoops, too slow. Oh, look, a little edgelord junior. Are you going to cry? I just ignore the gorilla in front of me and walk right on by. Hey, quit ignoring me! I'm sorry. I don't speak monkey. I walk away before he can respond. Whatever, not interested in anything he says. I'm sure he'll try to hunt me down to beat me up later, but I can't stand that guy. Joichiro is such a conceited jerk and an infamous womanizer to boot. Frankly, I think he's such a waste of oxygen. In cases like this, it's best to ignore him and his stupidity. Who knows, maybe I'll live longer if I do that. Last class for the day. It's a free period. School was relatively boring today, save for one thing. At the beginning of our first class, the teacher stood in front of everyone and spoke in a somber tone. He had an announcement to make. Sometime between last night and this morning, Natsuki was found dead in her home. The teacher couldn't say what was the cause of her death, even noting how the authorities were still determining what happened. Tch, knowing how they work, it's hopeless. The probable cause of her death might as well be lost to the darkness. There was only one thing that was clear. Natsuki Sairenji has passed away. I asked out of curiosity, in the hopes of getting a straight answer, but that's all the teacher would say. I didn't want to ask any further questions to avoid looking suspicious and to respect her privacy. The day continued on as it normally did, albeit without Natsuki sitting behind me. To be honest, I don't care all that much. I don't care that a classmate I hardly ever spoke to is gone. I don't care that she won't ever be sitting behind me ever again. I don't care that I'll never see her again. Do I? I have no strong feelings one way or the other about this whole thing, right? No, her death won't affect me at all. This school day continued without her. The world will continue without her. Just like old man used to tell me. Yet why did she confide in me with that loaded question? We didn't have any sense of closeness, yet she asked me that loaded question anyway. Like a shot in the dark. A soft laugh pulls me from my thoughts and back to reality.
Why, hello there, Hallie. You're looking rather down in the dumps today. Penny for your thoughts?
I'm fine, thanks. Amy Shido. Just another girl in my class, and yet something about her rubs me the wrong way. I've never spoken to her, nor has she ever spoken to me. This might be the first time she's approached me like this. From what I understand, she and Natsuki spoke to each other a lot. I'm not sure if they were friends, rivals, or something else entirely. Considering how their relationship didn't affect me, I never questioned anything. Not my business, so not my place to poke around.
Oh, I don't know. That doesn't sound like someone who's feeling fine. If something is bothering you, then just tell me already.
This is the first real time you've ever spoken to me, Amy. What does it matter to you how I'm feeling?
Oh, wait, I think I understand now. So then you're super annoyed at me because I never talked to you, right? Yet here I am shooting the breeze with you out of the blue like everything is sugar-coated rainbows.
Something like that, but you didn't answer my question. What does it matter to you how I'm feeling?
I don't know. It's just that the whole situation kind of reminds me of something.
I raise an eyebrow at her. What is she getting at?
Something you're awfully familiar with, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen here. You little bit.
Oh, this tiger has fangs. I like it.
You have some nerve even hinting at her to me like it's no big deal.
You're right. How insensitive of me. Barely a year's gone by since then, hasn't it?
I remain silent. If she's trying to piss me off, you can bet it's working.
Anyway, I came over here because I wanted to ask you for a favor.
A favor? Me? Get someone else to do it. I don't owe you a damn thing. I hardly know anything about you outside of your spider fetish.
Ugh, really? There's no need for judgment, Hallie. Everyone is free to like whatever they want, so long as there's no harm onto anyone. And or that's what Natsuki would say anyway.
Her voice lowers when she mentions Natsuki's name. I never stopped to think how this might be affecting her. If you're here to ask for advice about coping with loss, then find someone else. I'm no good at that kind of thing.
No, that's not it.
Then is there a point to your little lecture? You're not a teacher last time I checked.
Looks like someone got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Or is this what you're always like?
I don't know. I never really stopped to think about it.
Getting back to the point here, I wanted to ask you to do a favor for me. Can you guess what it is?
Don't know, don't care, but I bet you're going to tell me anyway. Cut to the chase already or buzz off, you spider-obsessed freak.
You're such a jerk. You know what?
Wow, tell me something I don't know.
Ugh, you're such a difficult man. Reason won't reach a solution. Anyway, your rudeness aside, I wanted to see if you could help out Nat. You're the only one who can do that.
How the hell do you figure that? Stop acting like we're casual friends here.
She went over and talked to you yesterday, remember? I know this because I was watching you both.
Do you stalk people in your free time? What kind of sick pervert are you? While were you at it, did you take pictures of us for those long, lonely nights?
For the love of... Would you just cut it out already? Seriously, what is with you today? Are you having a bad day, or are you just naturally an insufferable jerk?
Who knows? Maybe I'm born with it.
You're an idiot.
You're a pervert.
Anyway, back on topic. Ozzy chose to ask you for help instead of me that day. I'm her good friend, so you'd think I would be a natural choice for her, but no.
What are you talking about? She didn't ask me for any help. She just asked me some random question like it was no big deal. A cryptic as hell kind of question.
Is that what happened? I figured as much. You see, Nat was the kind of girl who wouldn't ask for help directly, even if she wanted it. She often figured it would only bother people if she went to them about her problems. In turn, she was afraid to say anything at the risk of bothering or offending someone. Poor Nat, she was such a sweet, considerate girl. Maybe a bit too considerate, though, if you ask me. That just might have been her undoing.
Okay, so let's say you have a plan to help her. How are you going to do this? Last time I checked, the dead can't just return to life like nothing. It's not like there's some red star out in the sky that can zap the deceased back to life.
Funny. It's truly funny you should say that, because I have something to tell you.
Okay, now what?
If that's what you're worried about, then allow me to explain some things to you. Tell me, have you ever heard the tragedy of Terenkos the Tyrant?
No, should I?
I didn't think so. It's not a story most people would go around telling. A long time ago in a distant realm there were two brothers. The eldest brother was named Articus, and he was revered by all. The younger brother was Terenkos, who was often feared and even despised by most people. They actually had a younger sister, but we don't talk about her. That no-good floozy.
What?
What?
Never mind. Just, whatever, keep going.
They came from a magically powerful family, and as such were gifted with unimaginable power. Articus had the power of creation and could create almost anything with his knowledge and skills. That is, except for living things, of course. We don't talk about that either. So long as it existed, he could create it, and if it didn't, he'd toil away in his workshop to make it a reality. Terenkos had power over time, and could even rewrite history, but only once for anyone who dared ask him to. To some, he was an almighty time wizard who contributed much to society. Others saw his ability to manipulate time as frightening. Even so, he did his best to try helping those around him. Although no matter what he did, his accomplishments were always eclipsed by those of his brother.
This whole thing sounds like a load of crap, and yet I can't bring myself to stop her from spinning this web of nonsense.
One day, after a push from his floozy sister and after experiencing a terrible accident, Terenkos descended into madness. At that moment, he had a sudden epiphany. He saw how revered his brother was and how, despite his best efforts, he was seen as an outcast, a potential threat even. In a fit of jealousy and anger, he planned to kill his brother out of revenge and spite upon making this realization. His efforts were thwarted by Articus, who created a prison for him and cast him into a realm beyond human comprehension. A sort of pocket dimension, if you will. That wasn't the last of him, however, as he refused to be silenced.
So what happened to him?
Thanks to Articus, he was trapped in that pocket dimension with no way of escape. He's still trapped there to this day. Eventually, however, a cult known as the Dark Interlopers made contact with him. After making a deal, he shared his wisdom of magic and the dark arts with them. This shared knowledge of dark magic is how anyone can make a wish to him. One can simply make a wish to the Terenkos so long as the proper ritual is performed. Upon doing so, he will rewrite the past for you once. Should you get greedy with him, then your request is outright denied, in the best-case scenario. Depending on how he feels that day, he could do much worse. Believe me when I say I've heard stories of what he can do. It's not pretty.
Assuming this isn't just some fairy tale, you're saying this Terenkos could actually rewrite time.
Yes, but as I said, only at one given point in time per wish. Anything more and you'll be lucky if Terenkos leaves you with all of your limbs.
Haha. There's no way this is real.
Oh no, Howie, Terenkos exists. So does Articus and that Blue's younger sister of theirs. I know this for a fact, as I've met Terenkos myself.
Okay, you're one serious freak chick, and you need a lot of therapy. Better yet, maybe they should send you to the funny farm. Give them a call so they'll be coming to take you away. Or maybe put you in a box floating down the river. Whatever, I don't want to hear anything else you have to say to me. Not interested.
You've met him too, Hallie.
As I'm walking away from her, I stop in my tracks to look back at Amy. She smiles devilishly at me, her eyes are almost beckoning me. What could she mean with that? Before I can ask her, the bell rings, signaling the end of classes for the day. I take a quick glance at the clock. I look back over to her, and she signals me to follow her. I don't want to follow her, but then she starts harmonizing her voice.
Upon one summer's morning, I left for downtown Bourne. down by the merchant's alley where I met a soul forlorn, conversing with a young lass who seems to be in pain, saying, Hallie, when you go, I fear you shan't return again.
All of a sudden, my body relaxes and she makes her way over to me, a devious smile on her face.
My heart is pierced by Cupid. I yearn to hold you dear. There are none who can console me but my magic cavalier.
What is she doing? She runs her fingers up my arm and then starts to fumble with a strand of my hair.
His eyes that shone like emeralds, his hair as black as coal. My happiness attend him wherever he may go. From here to all high heaven I'll wander, weep and moan, for my ennobled champion until he returns to me back home. My heart is pierced by Cupid, I yearn to hold you dear. There are none who can console me but my magic cavalier.
With an almost seductive smile on her face, Amy begins to walk away, returning to the open door. My body begins to move on its own. Against my better judgment, I comply with her. For some reason, I feel as though I can't refuse her. It's as though I'm under the control of a siren's song. Amy takes me to the courtyard, right in front of the fountain. My body keeps resisting me. I almost feel like some stupid puppet on strings. I continue to mindlessly follow her, as if under a trance. I'm snapped out of it when she briefly clears her throat. What the... Huh? You no good little... You know what? Whatever. Okay, Amy, enough of this fortune cookie nonsense. What do you want from me? Amy rummages around in her backpack, mumbling to herself. After a few moments, she produces 2 linked bracelets, one gold and one silver.
Here we go. These bracelets are known as the Chains of Tarankos and represent the link between the 2 brothers. More specifically, the bonds placed on him by Articus when he performed the ritual that imprisoned him.
Okay, that's nice and all, but how the hell do you have them then?
Oh, it's easy to make these. All you need are 2 bracelets you're willing to sacrifice and the right ingredients to soak them in.
I take it no one is going to miss those then.
Oh, my Hallie, are you concerned about me?
No, I could care less what happens to you.
Well, Hallie, tell me how you really feel.
Wait a minute, I didn't say I couldn't care less, so that means I do care a little. I just want to know what you're getting me into so I don't end up some accomplice to whatever crime you're cooking up. Even if it's not something illegal, I don't want to know what she's out there reading in her free time. Or what goes on in that twisted mind of hers, for that matter.
I can assure you what we're doing is not illegal. At least I don't think it is.
I'm out of here.
Don't you want to help not?
Why are you so obsessed with her?
Ignoring that,